from understanding what a human is feeling and what can be their risk appetite. They can give you a number, but they can't look at your face and say that, you know, today Sona's probably, these are her bad days. I think she's not ready for a risk appetite of this caliber right now, though she's been doing it in the past. So those are the things that will continue to happen, and it's going to be a different journey from what it's been so far. But I think last 15 to 20 years, ever since IT's come in, it's been a whirlwind anyways. But yeah, the pace of the acceleration would happen much faster. A lot of the mundane jobs will definitely go. A lot of the copywriting, a lot of the legal, initial case, fact finding, a lot of search-based stuff. Even in as a programmer, I feel a lot of jobs that we do, scripting or just getting data in the right format, those kind of jobs will definitely go away, but there will be a lot of other jobs in other areas which we probably don't foresee.
Any other questions? Any observations? No, I'm afraid not. Can somebody give him a mic, please, if you have mic? Or...
Hello everyone. My question is regarding the Internet of Things. So you talked about how about billions of devices are going to be connected to the Internet. Of course, there will be a lot of personal data available on the net. So my question is, what can the government do to ensure the safety and security of IoT?
Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, security is the biggest question mark or the biggest issue that the industry is grappling with on IoT. So that's why you see that industrial IoT has taken off. For example, GE and other companies are building on how to get the gas turbines talking to each other and all that, which is fine. Which is even there, of course, there's a level of security that's required. But when it comes to personal data, when it comes to individual consumer data, security is one of the big things, and which is why there has been a lot of scares. There's been you would have heard these scary stories about how your your camera on your laptop can probably be hacked, and people can hack into your personal space. So yes, there is. It is still something which is heavily evolving, which is something which is under consideration. There are some standards that are coming out for the IoT industry. I think just about last month, about a dozen of these companies got together and are coming up with the standards, like global standards, like an ISO standard for IoT data. So yes, security is probably the prime reason why IoT has not just exploded, but yeah, absolutely right. That's why most people are still, a little bit cagey about IoT as such. It's a great concept, but these are the questions that people are asking here.
Thank you.
So that automatically creates a great industry for IoT security. So that's another area. In fact, digital security is probably the hottest area for jobs today. And there is no recession in digital security.
So any other question?
Yeah, the gentleman over there.
Through development of an artificial intelligent body. So let's say I'm trying to a large framework for artificial intelligence, and I'm doing it through something that is devised for development of that artificial intelligence framework. So we are actually progressing in an incremental way in trying to develop a larger framework. Has any thought been given to that?
Yeah, I think probably Sonal can answer this better, but I will just say that look at the latest financial results of TCS and Infosys and all that. They're not looking great. Reason for that is exactly what you're saying. For example, the large software companies in India used to make millions of dollars out of testing software. So you write code, and there used to be another set of people who used to test that software. In the last 3 years, now most of the software now can test themselves. So they do exactly like what you're saying. They write codes the right way the first time around. There is no need for a human to check those codes, which is what is happening, which is what has wiped off a huge segment of the software industry where people used to test software. And I think the next step here is that, machines can write their own software. And that's what is happening. Maybe Sonal, you can probably expand on that.
Yeah, so I think if your question was around a big framework around AI which can help to generate more AI, was that your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as glamorous as it sounds, we are very far off from that kind of AI. AI and data science, although very, hyped and very sought after skills, require a lot of manual hard work to just get, so we talk about neural nets, but it's still, and there are so many, frameworks available to just plug in neural nets. And you will read on the net that it's just 5 lines of code and 8 lines of code. But on a laptop, probably take just, a day or two to run on a single GPU. And it will require a lot of parameter tuning. So we are far off from that, we're very far off from that Uber, AI framework through which you can generate smaller programs. Our best bet currently is a consortium by people like Elon Musk and Sam Altman and other geeks in the US who are doing an NGO kind of open. So their fear is that AI will eventually get controlled by either a corporation or by a few bad guys. If it falls in their hands, it can really, hurt mankind. And they are coming up with open standards and open frameworks for AI that is accessible by everyone. So they are, collaborating and developing that. Companies like Google, Facebook, and Microsoft have recently, created an alliance to join hands and do AI work together. Apple is not part of it; they are very secretive. But having one is like it's way far off from. So it's right now it's a lot of manual handholding, finding the right parameters, running it, rerunning it, changing the data. It's not as intelligent as it looks. Developing it is not as intelligent. The results definitely are intelligent so far.
So is there any other questions? Please feel free to ask. No?
Probably we can take one last question, the gentleman over in the dark.
Good evening, sir. My name is Vipru Anand. I want to know about what challenges does big data face and how does cognitive computing help in solving those problems?
I'm sorry, you were not audible. Your question was challenges in big data?
Challenges in big data and how does cognitive computing help in solving those problems?
Okay. Most of the challenges around big data are defining what to collect, because there's so much data. I mean, what is the first thing you want to start looking at? There are as many things as an organization can actually start doing. Defining the infrastructure for big data, how many machines do you need? What size of machines do you need? How do you get the data in and out of the system? So we are talking about, terabytes and petabytes of data. It's not as simple as just copying, a movie from one laptop to another. So just copying over information, data from one source to the actual cluster, setting up clusters. So there are a lot of technical challenges around just the technology, right from what data to start looking at, what is the data in the right format, is it performant enough to give results, actionable insights in the right amount of time. Technically, those are the challenges. Business-wise, yes. Is the investment worth it? In terms of cognitive computing, I think cognition around, so there are companies which are working on, making big data technologies themselves perform better by understanding, where they're stuck. So if you put in a query and it will analyze and predict what is the best way to, rewrite that query to make it faster. So that kind of cognitive computing on the tech side is happening. Sriram would like to add up some of the stuff.
Yeah, I think if you want to look at a live example of what you're talking about, look at IBM Watson being used by Citibank. I think about end of last year, Citibank implemented IBM Watson in some of the trading businesses in Hong Kong. So that's the best example of test driving cognitive computing usage in the financial services industry. So you can have a look at that in IBM Watson website probably.
So, thanks to both of our panelists for sharing their valuable inputs. Now, I would like to call Professor Munish Makkar to felicitate our guests. So, we would felicitate Ms. Goel.
Mr. Sriram Natarajan, we are gratified by your presence. So now I would like to invite Joint Secretary Amol Bagul to say some few words as a token of our gratitude towards the delegates and panelists for making this event successful.
What a wonderful day it has been. On behalf of Department of Financial Studies, Delhi University, I would like to thank all the panelists for their valuable inputs and enlightening us with the key topics of Indian financial sector. I would also like to thank all the academicians and delegates for their enthusiastic participation in the event. Thank you and have a great day. I request all of you to join us for a high tea outside.